Kitty McScratch here! So this is going to be one of my video blogs. I wanted to try to take some time to video blog at least once a week. Don't hold me to it, because there's plenty of times that I've been like, I want to do this once a week, and then life, goes pfft, and I don't get anything done. I have a little bit better setup now, so I should be able to get videos out more often. You may see where I'll have like a couple videos like back to back, and then I may have like a week before I do it. I'm sorry if that happens. I'll try to be more consistent with it. Sometimes I have a hard time like holding on to content and releasing it later because I'm like, oh, I just want to share it with everyone. So hopefully I'll get better about spacing out my videos a little bit more, so that way you're not like being bombarded with them, nor are you having like this big drought of not getting to see anything. I've been really enjoying filming a lot more now, especially since I have a better setup. As you can tell, I'm actually shooting in my bedroom a lot for my videos right now, and that's probably where I'll be doing predominantly a lot of my shooting at, especially when it comes to the makeup stuff, because this is my makeup area. It's fairly, like, organized. I'm actually kind of impressed with myself that I managed to keep as organized as I have been. I've got a little like, flower pot thing that I got, I think it was at Walmart, actually. And I keep my eyeliners and my mascaras and lip liners and lipsticks, like my favorite Kat Von D Outlaw. Well, that's the color, is Outlaw. Freaking love this stuff. Like, yeah. Never been big on wearing red lipstick before. Was totally scared to. Now I wear it more than anything. Obviously, I'm not wearing it right now because I filmed a video on my subscription boxes, so I was trying to use some of the stuff that I got in that, which is why you got this look. I've got this really cool makeup mirror with a light. That's also the reason why this light is here, is just to give me a little bit more light here. Eventually I'm going to work on, probably actually it'll be John, is going to work on putting like a light here so I can have some more light right here. Obviously I got a ton of light in here right now because I'm using my studio lights that I use for when I'm filming. I've got all my brushes right there, and then I've got the rest of the stuff is like makeup cleaners. But I'm really happy with my setup. I've also got, you can kind of see there, oh, I've got the drawer open. That's where I keep all my subscription stuff until I start moving it into the rest of my stuff. I've got all these IKEA drawers that I freaking love. And not that you can really see it on the cameras, but I actually have them labeled at the top, so that way it's easier for me to figure out what's where. And then also if like John helps me pick up, he knows where stuff goes. But I've got some like different little organizers. How cool is that? Way more organized with my stuff than I used to be. And I've got all my eyeshadows, including like my After Dark palette, which, oh my god, I love this thing. I've got my Pastel Goth palette, which I adore, and my Kat Von D Alchemist palette. I plan on doing reviews on each of those coming up. But yeah, this has like my eyeshadows. It's also got eyeliners and my brow stuff. I've got this, which has lip products, which obviously I don't have much. Because I've only started recently using a lot more lipsticks. I used to be pretty big on lip glosses or not wearing anything at all. Eyeshadow, I've never been scared to use. I've used a ton of it in the past. Always loved eyeshadow. But when it came to lipstick, for whatever reason, I was terrified to try anything that stood out quite a bit. I also have a ton of nail polish. Like, a lot of nail polish. Because I used it to help me stop picking up my nails, which, how awesome is that? Look how long my nails are. Like, if you've seen any of the pictures from, like, years ago, like, I had a horrible time at picking at them, and when I was younger, I used to chew them all the time, and I've actually successfully stopped doing that. Very rarely do I pick at them now. Occasionally I will cut them down a little bit shorter if one of my nails breaks, but I've consistently in the last month or so kept these a lot longer than I'm used to. Like, usually once they get past the fingertip, I have to cut them down because they bug me, but I've actually had them longer than that now, and they don't bother me now. So I am super excited about that. I will say part of what helped me is John, because he used to help me by getting me nail polish or whatnot to cover my nails, so I did not, because it was what used to be the problem whenever I'd see like the white on the end of the nail, when the nail would grow far enough that it would, you know, start getting like a lighter color. It used to bother me really bad. So if I kept nail polish on them, they were fine. And then a year ago, he let me buy some of the Jamberry nail wraps, and I really like those a lot. I use them. I don't use them as much right now because I haven't been needing to, so now when I wear them, it's just purely because I really want to use one of those designs, and not so much because I have to keep something on my nails to keep from picking at them. Been loving trying new makeup stuff. I've been having a lot more fun with it. I've noticed that, like, it's actually kind of helped me feel a little better. Not that, like, there's a lot of times I don't wear makeup. If I'm not going out or not doing anything, and I'm not filming, I don't wear makeup. I don't tend to wear foundation all the time when I do wear makeup. I usually use the foundation when I'm on screen or trying to cover up. Like, I've got a couple spots right here where I have blemishes, and then like now it's just kind of scabbed up. One problem I have with my anxiety, and that's part of the reason I picked up my nails all the time, I think was because of my anxiety. Because it was easier to do that than think. That like would distract me. And predominantly the stuff that I do to help myself with anxiety is I distract myself. So I feel that that was probably a lot of the reason why I had problems with that. But the problem with not picking up my nails now is that I tend to do other stuff. So when I have like a scab, especially like, you know, you can kind of see like on my arms, like I'll have like different scabs and stuff, like here. It is really hard for me not to mess with them. So it's like, I don't pick at my nails now, but I tend to find myself picking at stuff like that more now. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation to a certain extent. Pretty much right now I've conquered picking at my nails, but now I'm having to focus on not picking at my skin. So that's really hard for me at times. And that's part of the problem that I was having with these two spots, was I kept finding myself, and it's totally me not thinking. I'm just sitting there like, you know, messing with myself, and then I find myself like, oh crap, like I've picked at it so much that I'm bleeding now. And it's really frustrating for me because I just wish that I didn't have either of those problems. It's like, you know, I got better with my nails, but now I've got another problem I've got to conquer now. So it's been a lot of work focusing on not doing that stuff. But thankfully, because I actually have makeup that I enjoy using now and I'm really happy with, I'm able to kind of cover that stuff when I'm filming and not get frustrated as much. Because otherwise, there's a really good chance that if I didn't have makeup that I was happy with, that I wouldn't be filming at all right now, because like that would be the only thing I'd be seeing when I mean, like, I'm still gonna notice that when I'm editing the video, but it's not gonna be like to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to put that up. Like, I don't even want that up there. I've been really happy with trying out like more stuff because I've been able to get like better stuff that works better. I had some drugstore stuff that works really, really well, but like, for example, that After Dark palette, I love how that eyeshadow goes on. I love how it blends. Even the Pastel Goth one, I've used it some, and I've been like really excited with how well it blended and how well it worked. So that's been fun for me to try to mess with that stuff a little bit more and have a little bit more fun with stuff. And I feel like when I go out and actually am able to do my makeup, that in general I just feel happier to a certain extent. There's some days I can wear no makeup and be perfectly fine. And then there's some days where it kind of helps having that little bit of pick-me-up and just taking the time for myself. Another thing that I've been doing a little bit more lately is taking baths more. And I'm meaning like just relaxing baths. I'm not saying that I never bathe. But it used to be I would just take showers when I needed to wash up, or I would just wash up with soap and a rag kind of thing if I didn't want to like get in the shower. But I had such a hard time just taking baths. Because I felt like if I was going to take a bath, I should be in there for hours. And when I was growing up at my parents' house, like, my parents' bathtub's kind of shallow, and I'm the kind of person that, like, I like the water to be, like, as full. I like the bathtub being as full as it possibly can. And at their place, you can't get the bathtub, like, that full for me to be happy with it. I have this really weird phobia of drains. And I know that probably sounds weird to some of you people. There may be some of you that watches this and it's like, I'm like that too, I totally understand. Like, the bathroom drain, like, would bother me so much. Like, taking a shower is not an issue because I'm not standing on the drain. But when you're in the bathtub, your feet are usually down by the drain. And so, like, the whole time I'd be taking a bath at my parents' house, like, I would just be sitting there thinking, like, is my feet touching it? Is it nearby? Like, where am I in relation? And, like, the whole idea of taking a bath is to relax. And even at, like, the apartment that I had with my ex, like, same thing. Like, I couldn't take baths because I was just, like, so focused on where the drain was and not wanting to touch it and not wanting to get near it. Thankfully, the bathtub that, like, we have here upstairs, it's actually got, like, a flat top that, like, it pops up to let the water out and then it pops down and is flush with the bathtub. So I don't have that problem with it at all. It's amazing. I am so happy with it. Like, I can actually have baths and, like, just relax and not be, like, freaked out by it. And you have no idea, like, how much that has just changed my world. Like, I can actually enjoy being in baths now. The other thing that's been really nice is I've gotten a lot of Lush bath bombs and Bubble Bar and, like, fun stuff to use. And that has made it so much more fun to take baths. Plus, you know, I've actually been able to, like, sit down and just, like, watch, like, YouTube shows or different stuff on Netflix if I want to. We've talked about possibly putting a TV in there at some point here in the near future so that way I can actually watch shows while I'm laying down. And that's the thing, is that, like, when I'm in the bath, if I don't have something to do, there's times where, like, I'm just sitting there, like, trying to count down time to see how long I've been in there, to whether or not I've been in there long enough to justify getting back out of the bath at that point. Whereas if I have something to watch, I can actually just relax. That's my problem. I think so much. And that's partially to do with my anxiety, because I just think about everything, like, all the time. Very rarely do I have moments where I'm not thinking about something. When I'm doing yoga, I finally have gotten to the point now where I can actually enjoy it and relax and clear my mind. Which, when I first started doing yoga, I had such a hard time with that. You know, we would get towards the end of the session, and the ones I usually go to are, like, on Mondays or Wednesday nights, and they tend to be, I think, an hour and 15 minutes. And so, like, the last 10 or 15 minutes is, like, wind down and then, like, kind of like meditation. And when I first started doing it, during that time, like, my brain was just going, like, you know, did I do enough laundry? Did I pick up the room? Did I, like, feed the cats? You know, like, it's, like, all over. Sometimes it's just, like, stupid stuff, too. And I'm just sitting there, like, why can't I just be for a little bit and not be, like, so on edge about this? Now I've finally gotten to the point where when I get to that part, and even throughout the whole session, like, I'm not thinking about stuff as much. Which is, I feel, like, really helped me a lot to actually be able to enjoy it and get the most out of doing it. I try to go to yoga at least once a week. There's some weeks where I don't make it, either because my back is, like, acting up at that point and it'd be really hard to do it without being in pain. Or in the past week or two, I've been having problems with my right arm. Today it's not too bad, but I've been having problems with, like, where the muscles up here are just, like, really sore. And it's not, like, all the time. It's only, like, when I moved it, like, behind me. Like, I remember yesterday when I was at my belly dancing class, just putting my arms up here. This side, fine. But trying to get my arm up here on this side was, like, oh, it was rough. It was absolutely rough. So freaking hard for me to do. Today, fine. So, hopefully, it's in the process of getting better now, and I'm not going to have that problem. But, like, that was part of the reason I haven't done yoga in the last week or two, was because my arm had been hurting so much, and there's times where you're balancing on your arms, and I was worried about if I would even be able to manage with my right arm whenever I was balancing on it, and I really didn't want to push myself. So now that it's starting to get better, hopefully I'll be able to go to yoga next week and be able to enjoy myself again and be able to, like, get that kind of workout and stretching. Because that seems to help my back, and it really helps my anxiety a lot. Obviously, my cat has decided to join us. Hi! This is Ravage, for any of you guys that don't know. She's one of my babies. I've got 3 indoor kitties and 2 outdoor kitties. Got Ravage and her brother, Tigertron, who I've had, crap, maybe almost 6 or 7 years now. I need to go back and figure out how old they are. I think they're about 6 years old now. And I've got Carlisle. That's Carlisle. He's one of our newest ones. We've had him for 2 years now. And then we've got Rascal, who is our Yorkie. And then we have 2 outdoor kitties, a tortoiseshell colored cat named Brownie, and then another one that is black and white, kind of like Carlisle, although she is way bigger. Like, she is a chunky cat. Her name is Domino. So just for any of you that didn't know what pets we have. Yes, I know. So, as I've talked about before, I have scoliosis. That is where your spine is curved in a way that it shouldn't be, pretty much. So, if I'm facing you, in my lower back, my spine curves that way. Actually, I probably could actually show you guys what it looks like. We'll see if we can do this. So, maybe you might be able to see it, but like my spine curves like that. So like it actually doesn't go straight up and down. It goes off to this side just a little bit. And you can kind of tell, like on my sides, you can tell where this one curves in a lot more than the other side. That is not because I'm standing weird. That is actually because of how my back is curved. I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was in 8th grade, so I've had it for a really long time. Back in the past, I used to go to Iowa City every, I think it was 6 months, if I remember correctly. I think it was a little bit more often right when I first got diagnosed. And then by the time I got into college, it was once a year. And then around the time, shortly after I got out of college, I didn't have insurance anymore underneath my parents, so I stopped going. Plus, it kind of got to the point where it wasn't really... I was doing well enough that they weren't as concerned about it. At one point, it was bad enough that they were considering doing surgery on me. I'm really glad I didn't end up going through surgery. Thankfully, it hasn't been bad enough where I've needed it. If it had been up in my upper back, that might have been a little bit different situation because it would have affected my ribs, which would have affected my lungs and all that stuff. With it being in my lower back, that's not to say that it doesn't affect me, but it doesn't really affect my organs so much. So it's not as concerning, I guess. But because of it, I tend to have pain in my lower back most days. Granted, a lot of times it's just kind of, it's kind of like, just like white noise in the background. Like, it's there when you, and you notice it when you think about it, but otherwise it just kind of blends in with everything else. So it's not anything that I've wanted to have surgery over. I was really concerned with having surgery, mostly because of the fact that it would be affecting my spine. And I really just didn't want to take the chance of something going wrong. Even though I was seeing the best doctor in the world, at least at that time, for scoliosis, I was still really concerned about what could go wrong. Or even if there might be something better to use or better to do that wasn't as permanent, I guess. Because the thing is, like, when they go to do the surgery, they do fuse some of the vertebrae together, which means that I wouldn't have been as flexible. And I think it was like, I think it was maybe like, it was between, I can't remember if it was 6 weeks or 6 months. I think it was 6 months of like downtime at the time. You know, 6 months after I had the surgery done, I would have to be like no physical activity. And it was like my senior year of high school. And I didn't want to go through that when I had so much stuff I wanted to do. Lately, my back hasn't been too bad. I did have a little bit of problems with it the last couple days just because I kind of overexerted myself when I was working on the house. That's the one thing I do have to be really mindful of with my back, is when it comes to like picking up heavy stuff, I can't do it. You know, like if it's over 40 pounds, that's pushing it into the realm of possibly having back pain for the next few days. I also have to be really careful with repetitive stuff. That was part of the reason why we got the stacking washer and dryer, was so I wasn't like having to bend over quite so much. I still have to bend over a little bit, but it's not as bad, and it's a little bit easier, like, because they're closer together, and yeah. It's just easier to do, and it's less painful on my back. There's sometimes that John will take care of that stuff for me a little bit, just so I'm not, like, making my back worse if I'm already having problems. Or if I feel like it's kind of going in that direction, he'll take care of that stuff so I'm not making it worse. But I got really overzealous and I did a ton of cleaning, which I'm really happy with and I'm really proud of myself for, because the last few days have been like the first days in like a few weeks where I haven't had any anxiety. So it's been amazing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate by actually like getting stuff done around the house. So that way, if it comes back anytime soon, I'm not going to be as overwhelmed by stuff because, hey, I'll have a bunch of stuff done. Well, my back was in massive pain that night and like the next day. And that was even after taking a muscle relaxer. Like, my back was still spasming, and I was like, oh, why did I do this to myself? Tigertron! Stop knocking stuff down! I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my blog. I hope you all are having a wonderful time, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. Bye!